Hey folks, welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth. In today's video, we're going to discuss rumors about APHRIA potentially merging with Tilray. This news just came out hot off the press, so I want to do a quick video for you guys. We'll do some charting and we'll go through my plan going into tomorrow, and we'll just go over the overall rumor and what some strategies could be. So stick around and we'll jump into it here in just a second. All right, welcome back. So we'll jump right into it. So we'll bring up the article here from BNN Bloomberg. So APHRIA Tilray said to be involved in advanced merger talks. If you recall, this is very similar to what happened with APHRIA and Aurora, and obviously it fell through. So just be extremely cautious. If you are buying on this rumor, know that nothing's been confirmed yet. And until they put pen to paper and there's an official release that it's been confirmed and both companies sign off on it and confirm that it is true, then again, it's just going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news type of thing, in my opinion. But we might not even get any news. It might not even come to fruition. So if you're going to buy it now, you're essentially just buying a rumor. And if you don't play pre-market or after hours, then you're sort of, sitting with your hands tied right now. Let's say you bought today before the end of the day. You're maybe just itching to, sell. If you don't play pre-market, these are all benefits of playing after hours and having an account set up that can do so. I know with RBC, I'm pretty sure you can call in and do it over the phone. So for those of you that may want to potentially sell, again, this isn't a buy or a sell recommendation. This is just for educational and theoretical purposes, and for educational purposes. So again, got off on a little bit of a tangent there, but if you don't play after hours, then these moves tend to fade come open the next trading day, because essentially they knew that the sector was in daily consolidation. People probably knew that this news was coming out. So they didn't allow for an hourly high or low or any consolidation. They wait, don't consolidate at all. Don't give anybody any opportunities to load up on any hourly consolidation for any hourly trend changes to be confident that the daily high or low is set. I just did a video on that as well in the daily market recap. You can check out my daily market recap from today with more information about the technical analysis on the MJ sector as a whole. But essentially they ran it up all day. People were anticipating daily higher lows, but needed to see hourly trend changes. We didn't get those hourly trend changes in names like Canopy. And then they run it up. They get the daily oversold bounce going, or sorry, the 4-hour oversold bounce going on CGC and most of these names. And then they run it into the end of the day and after hours, where it's very easy to run it and majority of people don't have access to trade it. So Canadian cannabis producers APHRIA and Tilray are in advanced talks to combine, with an announcement possible as early as this week. The merged companies expect to retain the Tilray name and appoint APHRIA chief executive officer. So that's interesting. So they're going to keep the Tilray name as its CEO. The sources said APHRIA is likely to merge with the majority of the combined company's board seats and with its shareholders owning 60% stake. Although that could change, and again, this is all just rumors at the moment. It seemed to be going fairly detailed here for this just being a rumor. Tilray CEO Brendan Kennedy is said to be in line to occupy a seat on the board of directors, blah, blah, blah. Negotiation between the two companies were ongoing, but no guarantee that the deal will be completed. So the merged company, APHRIA Tilray company, will likely move its headquarters to the United States as part of a strategy to bolster its presence in that country, the sources said. Sales of cannabis in the US have increased substantially over the past year amid rising marijuana usage during the situation that we have at hand. APHRIA is currently headquartered in Leamington, Ontario. Tilray is based out of Nanaimo, BC. The two companies are eyeing up $100 million in annualized cost savings by joining forces, while APHRIA would take the bulk of the combined entities' Canadian cannabis inventory to fully utilize its 1.3 million square footage greenhouse in Leamington, Ontario. It is unclear what will happen to Tilray's production facilities in Nanaimo, BC and London, Ontario, but one of the sources who has indirect knowledge said that they are likely to be wound down. So if Tilray and APHRIA manage to finalize an agreement. The deal would create the biggest cannabis company in Canada and a major player in the global pot sector. Tilray's international operations, which include a world-class production facility in Portugal, is said to be one of the jewels of the deal, the sources said. Tilray also has substantial operations in Australia, Germany, UK. Meanwhile, APHRIA has German pharmaceutical distribution business. So sort of stars aligning there for the two companies. The combined company would control a leading 19% share of the Canadian recreational cannabis market and annual revenue worth $930 million, almost hitting the 1 billion threshold, which is pretty impressive. Based on the two companies' most recent quarterly results, as well as revenue generated by Sweetwater Brewing Co., which APHRIA just bought. So this is the second time in recent months that APHRIA is said to have its eye on being a consolidator in Canada's crowded cannabis sector. So a lot of M&A activity. We saw APHRIA buying Sweetwater Brewing Co., getting into the cannabis space. That seems, or the beverage space, that seems to be the new hype. And another reason why I really like HEXO, as they again seem to just be leading the innovation at the forefront, competing with the black market and all that stuff. So that they're leaving others scrambling, and they're also taking market share from APHRIA and Tilray. So that's why I think this majority of this move is coming from because APHRIA is losing market share and Tilray is losing market share to HEXO, and HEXO already with a partner, Molson Coors. Now this gives Tilray a partner with APHRIA and a partner with the beverage Sweetwater Brewing Co. So I think it's a positive for the industry. It's going to create more competition. It's going to create you know, a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for? Just overall confidence in the sector. You know, the threat and the cloud overhang of, you know, companies going bankrupt isn't going to be there. We're starting to see more M&A activity, so that's good in my opinion. So this is the second time that they've been consolidating. BNN Bloomberg reported in July that Leamington, Ontario-based pot giant was serious negotiations with Aurora, as I mentioned earlier. The talks between two companies broke down due to difference over the board composition and compensation. One of the key differences between Aurora and Tilray is that the latter generates roughly half of its revenue from its Manitoba health hemp food business. That would likely appeal to APHRIA given Simon's previous role running organic health food operator Hain Celestial Group Inc. and could add steady revenue to its non-cannabis subsidiaries such as German pharmaceutical distribution business CC Pharma and Sweetwater Brewing. So the rumor is brewing, and I'm sure we're going to have a ton of social media coverage and just, you know, national coverage and media coverage. But taking a look at the charts here, so after hours, APHRIA is up 14.5%. We were up there about one point, we're up over 20%. So up to 9:30 here after hours. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if you don't play after hours. I wouldn't be surprised if this move was faded into market open tomorrow. I could be wrong. That's what I'm expecting. But taking a look at Tilray here after hours up, getting the brunt of the move here. So usually when a company gets bought out or acquired, one usually does better than the other. So in this instance, it looks like Tilray is going to keep their name in the business. And so I think that's why they're up more, is because the brand, the Tilray brand is still there. But we'll have to see again if there's any truth to this, if there's any deal put ink to paper, so to speak. And we'll want to see official confirmation before really going long. But personally, I'm still holding positions in Canadian MJ. I've said for a while now that Canadian MJ has been extremely strong, and we're seeing more proof of that. The 13F filings, which are asset managers with over 100 million in funds, have been aggressively buying the Canadian stocks, the cannabis stocks. So again, because of high liquidity, they're on major exchanges. There's these M&A deals, you know, potentially hyping up. So we'll look at some other names here after hours. CGC looks to be flat. Aurora up about 3%. HEXO closed at 109, up almost 5% here after hours at 114. So definitely seeing some moves here across the board in Canadian MJ. But let's take a look at the daily chart here on APHRIA. So again, we had the EMA 12 as support, and it was holding as support since we crossed above here from all the way back down here at 431. So it's been an absolute brick wall and just providing lots of support for bulls and people looking to buy the dip. And today we closed above that as well. So again, until we lose those levels, you need to have a reason to sell. We didn't have a reason. There was no reason to sell, and we didn't close below. We had a lower wick, but we didn't close. And now we're looking up. We broke through 888 resistance. So it looks like we have our new daily high or low established here at 772. So we'll see if we can hold the gains into regular trading hours tomorrow. But essentially, APHRIA has been very, very strong, one of the strongest LPs. We have monthly EMA 12 looking to cross bullish through EMA 26. We have a monthly uptrend for the first time since all-time highs. It's in a weekly uptrend. It's in a daily uptrend. Could be a potential weekly bull flag at this point. So we know that APHRIA has been one of the stronger, if not the strongest, Canadian LP out there. And again, more reasons as to why starting to pop up more and more. So Tilray on the monthly, we don't have any cross yet. We're going to be looking at EMA 12 here as the line in the sand to get over. So EMA 12 at 1231, we haven't got above that since the all-time highs. And let's take a look here. Are we in a monthly uptrend? We had the low, whoops. We had the low, the high, higher low, higher high. We are now in a monthly uptrend as well for Tilray. Taking a look at the weekly chart. See here, we're in a weekly uptrend, now scouting a weekly higher low. So we do have we had a weekly higher low here at 666, and now looking to form one here at 716, again, up to 920 after hours. But we were fighting a potential here of a weekly trend change, so a weekly downtrend. See here, we were just expecting a lower high as a result of this bounce because of the size of the pullback, but we did have support down here at 666, so the devil's numbers. But if you would have entered, maybe you were superstitious and you didn't want to enter, but you would have been rewarded obviously heavily. Again, this is just after hours. We'll see if it holds into tomorrow, but held off that weekly downtrend by holding 666 or $6.66. We hit a low of 716 and now breaking to higher highs. We're going to be looking at resistance at 1215. And on the daily chart, we have resistance at 970. And then after that is the 1215 level on the weekly. So that's where we stand on the Tilray chart. Again, we'll have to see this carry over, these gains carry over into tomorrow. And if you are on the sidelines going into tomorrow, maybe you want to wait for 5-minute oversold after a big bull move. Generally, that's a good entry. Or maybe you want to wait for 15-minute oversold. There's a way to, other ways to play it as well. You could scale in. So if you are interested, or if you are looking to get some potential help with that on what to do, let us know in the comments below. We'll be happy to help. And consider checking us out at pursuitofwealthgroup.com, where you can join us for a 1-week free trial. This is essentially what we do for private members, day in, day out, all day long. So APHA on the weekly, we're above the 10-week moving average. The stochastic was sending a signal, a little bit of a red flag looking to cross bearish, but that'll likely be negated after that news that just came out. Taking a look at TLRY on the weekly, we just barely held that 10-week moving average. The stochastic again was looking to cross bearish, and the MACD is still bullish, but was starting to curl a little there. But again, based on this news, we can likely see that start to trend back to the bull side. And taking a look at the weekly moving averages. So APHA over the 50, 100, and the 200-week moving averages. And again, weekly bull flag still in play. MACD blasting off. TLRY on the weekly moving averages is struggling at the 50 weekly moving average, which is at 890. We are up over that after hours. So if we can close the week out over 890, I think that's extremely bullish for TLRY. And on the daily chart, APHA well above the 50, 100, and the 200. We had the MACD crossing bearish for the first time since all the way back here in November. But again, if you bought the dip today, you were rewarded heavily, and we'll see if it can hold the gains into tomorrow. during regular trading hours, but TLRY looking to have a potential golden cross. So I'm going to write that one down for the memory bank here as well. Golden cross on TLRY. Shaping up. Hasn't quite got there yet. The 50s, that's 713, and the 200s, that's 716. So tomorrow we should have a confirmed golden cross on TLRY. And all signs are pointing to some huge momentum in the Canadian MJ space. So that's pretty much where we stand. Hopefully you found this information valuable. And again, let me know in the comment below if you need any help or any advice. Again, we can give you a generic input and thoughts on the matter. We are not financial advisors, so take everything we say with a grain of salt. You know, I've been trading for over 10 years, and everybody makes mistakes. And if you are down on yourself today for potentially selling into the end of the day there, or just not buying, and you're kicking yourself, you're feeling a little bit of FOMO, don't sweat it. It happens. But drop me a comment below if you do have any questions, or if you need help with anything. I'd be more than happy to assist you with that. So take care, everybody. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth for a APHRIA and Tilray merger update video, and we'll see you tomorrow for another daily market recap.